Hello, my name's Carla Walter, and I've been invited to talk to you today from Kelly from the Barrington Area Library, and I'm most grateful for this opportunity. I've been in the health industry for more than 25 years. I practice in nutrition and in counseling. And today I want to talk to you about a subject that is very important to me, and I think is very important to the population at large. And the subject is cravings. It's something that so many people actually suffer from. Some, it's just a little thing that they'd like to change. But many people, it actually really does rule their day and night. So let's have a look and investigate and discuss how we get cravings. Some of them start at a very young age, what we can do about it, and what it might look like if we didn't have any. Where do they start? They can start at as I said earlier, at a very young age. We're either come home from school, we're upset about something, and we have a bowl of ice cream. That will make us feel better. We might not feel very well, so we're given a particular type of food, maybe it's cookies, to help make us feel better. Even if we have something that's really wonderful that happens to us, we come home from school or we have been out and we come home and we want to share it with people and we have something to eat, something to celebrate. So we have chocolate or cake and we make an association. Whether we're sad, whether we're happy, depending on what the event is, we tend to sort of bring it into something that's going to make us feel better. We all know the term comfort food, but we actually have to program ourselves to be associated with comfort food. Let's take a further look at that. We then get a cell memory. If we've had an emotional moment and we're having the ice cream or the cookie or the chocolate or the cake, we then associate how we're going to feel afterwards. We make a story up in ourselves and we say, when I eat this, I'm going to feel this. And that's how we start our program of comfort food. We just tell ourselves a story. But the story is one then that we convince ourselves is reality. Oh, so-and-so upset me. So I know that to feel better, I'm going to have XYZ food. Chocolate, cookie, cake, chips, French fries, pizza. And what's really interesting about these cravings and about these emotions that we attach to these cravings that carry on for years and years and years, is that we normally oscillate between two flavors, salt and sweet. Now, I'm just going to say for a moment that there are 5 flavors, and I'll come back to that in a moment, and we'll discuss those 5 flavors a lot more. But at the moment, we're going to stay with our 2 flavors. We have a food industry that is spending billions of dollars to keep you in a framework where you are only eating between 2 flavors. Let's just take, for instance, you go to the movies. You have popcorn, very salty, and it comes with pop, very sweet. There's even a company out there that if you ring them up and order pizza, very salty because of the cheese, it's going to come with 2 free bottles of pop, something really sweet. So we're already having a marriage here of salt and sweet. We do this over and over and over again. We know people, you might go out to breakfast, you might cook breakfast at home, and you have on your plate pancakes, maple syrup, nice and sweet. You have sausages and eggs, very savory. But this is the time now when you're going to pick up the salt shaker and you're going to pour that salt shaker all over those sausages and eggs. And so now we've even set on our plate salt and sweet. There's also a lot of bread out there if you're putting toast on this plate. that already has the sugar in the bread. Thank goodness we do have some breads now that are available without sugar in them. Some bread rolls have up to a tablespoon of sugar, and some loaves of bread have 11 tablespoons of sugar in a loaf of bread. That's a lot of sugar. But then also, don't forget you're going to put things on these items which are very savory or very salty, and you're going to keep this marriage alive of the salt and sweet. Now, our cell memory can be changed. It's not always going to be there when we have an emotional state, whether it's happy or sad, and we're not always going to be able to go to that craving place if we do a little bit of work. The body is always sending us a message, and our problem is that we don't know what the message is in the way that it's going to be interpreted, so the body has a nice balance. We go to our emotional cell memory. So let me start now by saying, which I mentioned, 5 flavors. We have salt, sweet, sour, bitter, and pungent. What our body would like us to do is to eat all those 5 flavors associated with different foods, which I'll explain in a moment, in the course of a day. It's not that hard. And once we get into this rhythm of eating these flavors in the course of a day, the body's not going to be looking for anything because it's satisfied. And what happens when we stay between these 2 flavors, we're like a little mouse in a wheel, and we just keep spinning and spinning and spinning, looking for the next. We all know if we've had something, a bowl of ice cream, and then we have some French fries or some chips or crisps, then 20 minutes later, the body's going, excuse me, I'm ready for something else. I'm ready for something next. And what we do is we go back to our cell memory and we go, what do I want? We don't ever ask the question, what does my body want? We go to the emotional center. So how are we going to stop this with these 5 flavors that I'm asking you to think about having in the course of the day? So let's talk about salt. Seems to be most people's favorite at times. What the body is asking you to do is to cook with salt. The body's not asking you to add it after the food has been cooked. You know that there are some very nice restaurants out there, they'll never put salt and pepper on the table because the chef has already cooked the food. He's already seasoned it, and it needs to be eaten with the flavors that are presented on the plate. You don't get to smother it in salt, and then you don't have any flavor left at all. If you cook with salt, you'll start to break down the cellulose fiber of food, extract the flavor from it, so you don't need to add the salt. It's really simple. Salt is actually very important in our diet for that purpose. When you keep adding salt to food after you've cooked it, we start to build up a layer on our tongue, and you've got to keep adding more salt so it can actually penetrate the layer that's built up so we can have some connection with the taste buds. Over a period of time, once you start to eat with the 5 flavors, that layer finally starts to come off. So that's the first thing. The other thing I want to talk about when you add salt after the food has been cooked, it's a bit like an angina tablet. It goes straight underneath the tongue, and what we call, in my world of health, it hits the kidneys and it makes them very tight. You actually become very tired when you add salt to food. And again, if you're feeling tired, then you're looking for a pick-me-up, which a lot of the time people use something salty as something sweet. So again, here's this imbalance of the salt and sweet. So recap there, cook with salt, can't go wrong. The next one on the list is the sweet flavor. So let's take a look at what does that look like. We've just had Halloween, we're coming up to Thanksgiving, and we're in the fall season. Everything around us is orange. It's beautiful at this time of the year. I know that everybody's carved their pumpkins. I'm the only one walking around wanting you to eat the pumpkin. So let's take a look at that. Pumpkins, sweet potatoes, carrots, beets, yellow onions are some of the sweetest vegetables you can imagine. Let me just say something about sweet potato. Please don't cook sweet potato and then put marshmallows and brown sugar on it. There's enough sweetness in a sweet potato. It doesn't need anything extra. You're not helping it along. There are really lovely sweet flavors. We also know what it's like if we start to cook down a yellow onion and you caramelize it. It's so sweet. It's sweeter than candy. And the body becomes satisfied. The body loves that. It becomes very calm. Our digestive system is very, very happy when we're having naturally sweet foods. The other flavor then on our list is sour. This is not one that you're going to come home from work or school or visiting family or friends and go, gee, I can't wait to have something sour. Normally we have sour in the course of the day, but very few people are actually looking for it. Sour is associated with lemons, limes, vinegar, cranberries, also rhubarb. There are a number of sour foods. I'm not saying that you're going to eat a plate full. I'm only suggesting a very small amount of the sour flavor, a lemon squeezed on fish, a lemon squeezed on vegetables. You can make a dressing with some vinegar and put it on vegetables or a small side salad. That's how we get our sour flavor. It's only a small part. Our liver will be very, very happy. And also it's another piece of the puzzle of how we eat within the flavors to decrease these cravings. The next flavor to discuss is the pungent flavor. Now, the pungent flavor comes from ginger, garlic, and mustard. And again, it's not about smothering 1 inch of mustard on your sandwich. It's just a small amount of any one of those in your cooking or therefore on a sandwich. And it's just a little bit. Again, it's another piece that just helps the body calm down. It's also very, very good for your large intestine, by the way, and it's great for your immune system. So we want to take a look at having a little bit in the diet during the course of a day. Now, the last flavor to discuss and to talk about is the bitter flavor. Now, most people get up in the morning and they're very familiar with this beverage, coffee. And they all say, oh, it's my heart starter. I've got to have my coffee in the morning. And that's fine. But the real bitter flavor that your body is actually looking for are large green leaf vegetables. And I am certainly not talking about salad. Salad is a great food, makes roughage and waste out of the body. What we want to do is we want to look at large green leaf vegetables that you're going to cook. Collards, kale, mustard greens, bok choy, pak choy, the Napa cabbage, which is a Chinese cabbage, anything that's large green leaf vegetables. These are associated with the natural bitter flavor. Another one which is very, very bitter is dandelion greens. And if you can eat dandelion greens, you're very, very good because they are really hard to eat because their bitter flavor is so strong. Dandelion tea. The other one in the summertime is that we eat arugula and we eat watercress. And they are probably 2 of the only salad greens that I would say are acceptable, but we're only going to eat those in the summertime. When we eat within these 5 flavors, this imbalance of this salt and sweet that we've been oscillating through day after day, day after day, people get up in the middle of the night, open up the refrigerator, and the body's sending them all these signals about it's looking for something, and there goes another tub of ice cream, or there goes another packet of cookies, or another piece of cake, or where did I put the chocolate? Is there another piece of pizza with lots of cheese on it? It's time to take that out of the equation. And when we eat between these 5 flavors and the cravings start to come down, we actually start to be very balanced. A lot of the emotional seesaw starts to decline. A lot of the anxiety starts to decline. A lot of the frustration starts to decline, because we're also not making up a story about what we're looking for in our food. Try this. It's not something that you have to go out and get a special book for or a special diet. It's just adding flavors into your diet, into your daily diet, so you can decrease these cravings. See what happens. Just try. Just try for a few weeks. Don't try for 1 or 2 days. Food takes time to make a change in the body. My wish for you is that you have no cravings or very few, and that you eat in a balance of these 5 flavors. I'd also like to say again, thank you very much to Kelly and to the Barrington Area Library for giving me this opportunity to hopefully spark some interest in you about taking a look at the 5 flavors and trying to help your body be in balance. Health and happiness to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.